Now let's jump to the question that I got from Insta story that I just posted this morning. So
Yes.
the first question is, have you ever experienced culture shock after going from Indo to Sweden? How did you adapt to it? There is a second question that's related. How is the social condition during your study there? And how did you adapt to the local culture there?
Okay, so I will just maybe like tell you a story about how, not a story, like an insight of how Swedish people look like and how the situation here. I mean, there are always culture shocks even after years. I mean, we never really know something for sure. That's one thing because we are not God. So even after 2 years, I still learning like, oh, okay, they do it like this, they do it like that. Okay, so how should I start? So one big difference that is really big is that I don't know what Indonesian people are various people. Some of them like to play football, for example. Some of them just like to watch drama for the whole day. I mean, it depends on who you are and where you come from, Indonesia. But for me, one thing that I see really, really interesting is that Swedish people, most of them like to do outdoor activities, even though they have really, really nice house. So, okay, let's talk about the outdoor activities. So, we have 4 seasons here, apparently, with long and dark winter. So, okay, one thing that maybe people don't think through is that, or maybe don't know yet, is that in Sweden, it can be really, really bright during summer. Like, for example, in my city, we can get 18 and a half hours at most. So like the duration of daylight changing every day. It can change every day. So it's not like Indonesia, like, yeah, I know, so maybe for example in Surabaya, the sunset is around 5:30 and the sunrise is around 5, I can say. Yeah, maybe 5 or something. So yeah, we all know that. But here it can be challenging because every day is changing. And maybe for you who are fasting here, it can be challenging as well because you don't really memorize what time is for Maghrib, what time is for to break your fast. This is really really different every day and every year. So okay. So that is really interesting because in summer usually people just take not a day off but a month off. So we get a really quite many day off in a year compared to Indonesia because they think in summer you should take a break and enjoy the sunlight before it gets into dark winter again. Okay, so I said in my city at the most maximum duration of daylight, it can be 18 and a half hours. So the the sun rises as early as around 4 a.m. and it sets after 10 p.m. somewhere in my city. But Sweden is long. I said it's like Sumatra, right? So most Swedes live in the southern part, of course, because it's warmer. But if you go to the northern part, where you can see the northern light aurora borealis, if you know that. I mean, no, you can't see it from my city. But if you go north, still in the same country, you can witness it if you are lucky. So basically, aurora is like a rainbow. You never know when it appears. It's not like a snow that you can predict. Oh, tomorrow will be snowy. You need the really good luck to see that because you need a clear sky, no clouds, and also like good potential of electricity, whatever. I don't know that. But basically, you need to get lucky, and I haven't really witnessed until one, even though I have traveled to the north like 3 times. So yeah, okay. But anyway, in the north, it can be like 24 hours of sunlight. No, it never sets in the summer, something like that. So summer is around June. The most maximum daylight is in June. It's called summer solstice, and Sweden call it midsummer. I think you know there is a movie called Midsummer, right? It's from Sweden, but no, I mean, I haven't watched it, but we don't celebrate Midsummer that way in Sweden. Okay, it's just a movie.
That's scary.
Yeah, no, we don't celebrate it that way. We just celebrate it because we got a really long sunlight compared to winter, where in my city in December. So it's like almost like 3 days before Christmas. It was the darkest time, like the shortest day. Like we only get 6.5 hours here. So the sun rises at 9 a.m. and then sets around 3:30. So it's not nice because you go to work or study, it's still dark. You get home, it's also dark. It's like what? Yeah. But anyway, so life here can be challenging, especially for us Indonesians. We enjoy sunlight all day long, even though we complain about it. Oh, it's too hot. But people here is eager and really long to go to places like Indonesia, for example, because you can enjoy sunlight normally, something like that. But then what I saw is that people here keep doing their outdoor activities no matter how the weather is. That's really strange for me, but they do. For example, in summer, of course, it's a good time to enjoy outdoor activities. You go to the beach, you jump from the cliff to the sea, whatever. So they really do that. Like I mean, that's even interesting. So there are, I mean, for example, in my apartment, there's also like free swimming pool, which is unfortunately now closed because of the pandemic. But let's say it's normal times, it will be open. But during summer, it will be closed because you are expected to swim, not in the swimming pool, but swim on the lake, swim on no, not on the river, because river is quite uh, rocky, so to say. But usually on the lake and also on the lake, what is that? On the sea. So my city is also like a coastal city, like Surabaya. But yeah, we have also like a archipelago, maybe like Kepulauan Seribu in Jakarta, something like that. But we also have big lakes, so it's really, really complete. Like you can choose basically, either you want fresh water or salty water. And of course, you know, some Indonesians say, we love beach more. Yeah, of course, because we're Indonesians. But I'm fine with both, basically. And yeah, you're expected to do as much as you can. Like, you can cycle, like 4 kilometers. You can do hiking. We have mountain only in the northern part. But in Gothenburg, we have some hills. So it's really nice if you can hike for a while and then see this landscape, basically. So you're expected to walk more, hike more, swim more, run more, whatever. And they always do jogging, like in the morning or either after work. Okay, that makes sense because it's summer. Like it's still really bright even until 9 p.m. or 10 p.m. That makes sense. But then what surprised me is that when it gets cold in the winter or autumn, so I would say Gothenburg is really famous as a city of rain, which maybe some Indonesians like, but we hate it because our rain is also very windy, and usually it happens in the autumn toward the winter. So it's like it's already dark, it's rainy, and then everything like the wherever you go is muddy basically and windy as well because we are a coastal city, right? There is the wind from the sea. So we really hate it when it's raining, no matter how. But the Swedes say they have one idiom that they hold very much. If I translate to English, it will be like, there is no bad weather, only wrong clothes. So basically, they will still do jogging and running, even though it's snowy. They will still cycle a biking to walk, even to work, I mean, or to study, even though it's snowy and slippery. They will still run, even though it's rainy, with proper clothes, of course. It's like, all right. And then there is no such thing like, for example, in normal times, of course, not in Corona, but sometimes you have camp university tour where they will introduce you to the, for example, if you are new students, They will introduce you, this is this building, this is that building. And of course, you one sunny day for that, right? Or at least, yeah, good day, basically, not rainy. You know, what would happen in Indonesia? We will cancel such an event if we see some rain. But here, no, there is no such thing. Unless there is storm, they will still do it. Okay, good. And they will not do it late. They will start it like at the time they say. Yeah, of course, you already guessed, like people here is very on time. Yeah, that's one thing that is interesting. On time here means, I mean, most of the time, not all the time, but most of the time means punctual. So if you are invited for a meeting that starts at 10 a.m., don't come at 9:55 or even 9:45. That's rude. Because they will say, what? We're still preparing. We say 10 a.m. So respect them. They're still preparing. For example, if you're invited for, yeah, in Swedish house or whatever, come like at around that time, maybe 9:59 is okay, or 10:01. Even a bit late, it's okay, but of course not 15 minutes late. But don't come like really in advance. Just come right on time, 10 a.m. So there was a story like sometimes you take the bus or tram. We have tram here. I mean, we don't have metro. It's only in Stockholm. So you mostly only big cities in Europe have subway or metro. It's not like in this Asian they have like many metros. No, it's not like that here. But then basically, if the bus arrive like quite early, they will just walk around the park before knocking to the door because they don't want to be, insulting or something. So it's really interesting. You should be punctual. And then the other thing I said is that they will do outdoor activities no matter what. They love it. Running, jogging, and even in this winter. So surprisingly, this winter, it's been 3 weeks or 2 weeks, I forgot. This city has become really, really cold. It's unusual. We got even minus 15, like 2 days ago, minus 15 degrees. So because it lasts for a long time, almost all the lake freeze. Almost even on the rivers, you can see some ice, basically. So they will do something that is really interesting. It's called palka in Sweden. I mean, in Swedish language, it's called palka. So palka basically means you have some board and you put your kids on that, and the mom or the dad will drag the board. So the kids will just enjoy, like like it's a train, basically. They will drag the board through the lake or through the snow, basically. It's called palka. Or sometimes they will, there is like some hills, and the snow makes it less dangerous, basically. Make it slippery so that you just ride the board and then you will go down like, doing this sliding, basically. So even though with that temperature, minus 15, they will still do that. They will not just, it's cold, let's stay inside. No. You should go out and enjoy the nature or whatever. That's maybe one thing. It's been a long story, but maybe there are one or two things that can make Swedish people really different with what we used to do. Something like that.
So yeah, I think I have to be grateful of Indonesian right now because of the weather. The weather is so great, but
Exactly.
as a Southeast Asian who never experiences snow, there is always a dream of every Southeast Asian to see snow. So I think that's still not convinced us to not going to there, but we still want to experience that.
Yeah. I mean,
And
snow is magical for sure.
yes, well, I think I want to experience it at least for a month, and then I'm going to back because I can take it. I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean the darkness. Yeah, maybe if I can say a short thing, darkness is not that simple. It can make you depressed, basically. So you have to be. I mean, take more vitamin, for example, vitamin D here. So that's also one challenge when it gets really dark, because your body doesn't do the metabolism as normal, so you need more supplement for your body.
Okay, so you just talk about the frustrating part of Sweden, but now let's talk about what is the most beautiful thing you ever witnessed in Sweden.
Okay, so this can be a bit personal, but it's okay. I can share you something. So my mother just passed away last year, basically,
Oh, I'm
and because
sorry.
yeah, thank you. But due to this pandemic, there is no way I can go back. I mean, I don't want to, for example, infect my dad. That would be worse. And also, if I were to go back, I will be quarantined anyway in Jakarta or something. So there's no way. I mean, it's been too late. I have to be mature that, who doesn't want to attend their parents, their beloved parent funeral? But yeah, anyway, that's how it went. So I didn't go back. Yeah, Swedish people are known as being a people that are not really friendly as we thought. I mean, I don't know. I just can conclude that European people are really different from countries to countries. For example, if you hear some countries like Spain, Italy, Portugal, France, they're mostly on the southern part. They will be nice. But they like to talk a lot, basically. They will be friendly. They will ask you to do anything with them. Come on, let's join this and that, go to party or whatever. Because their climate is warmer. But the colder the climate is, the colder the people usually. Usually. I'm not saying all Swedes are like that. But you don't do like Indonesians say, you meet someone strange and they say, hi. No, you don't do that here. So just pass it by. And don't make eye contact if you don't know that person. Just try to not look into that person. So they were quite, conserved. Yeah, they're quite preserved. Sorry, that the word is preserved. I mean, they're quite quiet and silent and seems to don't care about your personal life. I mean, Indonesia, we like to ask, when will you get married? Of course, they won't do that here. So it's like your personal life is your business. I wouldn't do anything with that. But when my mother passed away, they really, really cared for me. Like even my supervisors give me their personal number. Yeah, so here you don't really WhatsApp your supervisor. You do everything by email because outside work is your personal life. You don't mix them up with work. So life work balance or life study balance is the key here as well. So it's like outside of university, you can study, but don't disturb your teacher, and then you are also free to do whatever you want basically. So you manage your time well while you are in the university. Study, don't do anything, don't watch YouTube or so. If you have free time, study in the university. When you got back home, do whatever you want. So it's that kind of balance like that. So it's really strange that they give me personal numbers. Maybe it's just in this case because they know I live alone here. So it will be really hard if I don't get good support. And then at one time, I didn't call them, and then they start to call me. And then, how is it? I haven't heard you for 2 days. I haven't heard back from you for 2 days. I mean, yeah, after the day, I mean, during the funeral, basically, like that week was tough, but they really support me. So it's like, yeah, I think that was beautiful because like you're quiet, you're not as friendly as you are, but you're being human. When people got in need, you can be human as well. You can be more than friendly than you were. So it's like what time it is to act. You know the right time to act. You know the right time to do something that is not usual. So it's like, I mean, of course, the view is beautiful, everything is beautiful, but that's the most beautiful thing. Like, they're really human. They treat me as a human, not like as a worker. Like I feel I'm appreciated because, and then after that, it was like, just do your work at your own pace. If you want to take some leave, that's also fine. If you need some help, assistance, if you want to go back to Indonesia, we will also help you. Don't worry about the money or something. We can help you first, something like that. So it's like they really care about who you are, not just the work that you produce. I think that's one of the most beautiful things here. Yeah.
Oh, that's so beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, yeah, and I'm so sorry for your loss too, by the way.
Uh, Thank you.
Okay, so the next question is, as you are an Indonesian, so what do you miss the most of Indonesia?
Okay, that's a good question. Let me have water first. All right, so I'm quite different with the other Indonesians here. Like they will miss the food, of course. I mean, I do, but not that much because for one, we have one good Indonesian restaurant here, but that's not the main reason. I just, you know, I'm a person who is not really complaining of what I'm eating, basically. I mean, of course, I have some food that I don't like, but not much. I mean, like food here can be really plain and not salty and have less MSG because they're trying to be healthy. And even vegetarian and vegan lifestyle is growing here. So even the Indonesian restaurant has to be vegan because that way the restaurant can attract more customers. I understand that. So we have nasi campur, mixed rice in vegan, only all plant based. And the cook was from Surabaya, so we know our taste basically. But then, yeah, everything is vegan, no meat, just tempeh and tofu and eggplant. But it's really good. It's really good. I mean, I like it. So it's like I don't really miss the food, I can say, up until now. Because as long as I have tempeh, I cannot let. That's enough for me. But of course, other students miss the food. And then suddenly, when you come to Europe, it's different with that when I was in Taiwan. Because in Taiwan, we don't have a kitchen. But here, I have kitchen. So basically, I never cooked in Indonesia, but now I can cook many things. Not so many, but some things. Like I can make my own yellow rice, nasi kuning, or whatever. Yeah, I can make a lot of things because yeah, basically, yeah, you learn how to miss Indonesia but not being diet. So basically, you cook it by yourself. Try to gather some ingredients and mix them up, basically. But then not the food. Maybe some friends. Yeah, of course, some friends that is Indonesia. Of course, I can't meet them. Even though I have friends here. I mean, in Sweden, there's not a lot of Indonesians compared to the Netherlands, for example, of course. I mean, Netherlands, a lot of Indonesians, maybe 1 million or more. But here, maybe we only have some thousands all along Sweden, but in my city, maybe, yeah, not even then, maybe some hundreds. And the students that come here every year, maybe just 10 or so. So, I mean, 10 goes, 10 comes, so basically the same, maybe 20 or so, basically. I mean, in the city. So yeah, maybe some friends. I miss some friends, and there's the sunlight, of course, maybe. I mean, now, yeah, as I told you, now I can appreciate the sunlight, and we have stable 12 hours a day, all year long. I know it's hot in Indonesia, but still, it's a good sign where we can still laugh and be happy, even though there's problems, because like we have the sunlight. I mean, it's called winter blues when you get dark and get depressed. It's real, basically. So winter blues is real and scientifically proven. Should be aware of that. So if, for example, here if you get depressed, you should seek for help. Not just like Indonesia. Oh, maybe you need to pray more. No. It's real. It's scientific. I'm not saying prayer don't help, but you really need to talk to someone. Anyway, you're away from family, you're away from friends. So basically, you really need to seek some help, and basically, usually university provides good help for them. So maybe the friends. Yeah. Apart from that, I like it more here. Like for example, I mean, unfortunately, Indonesia air pollution is really prevalent in big cities like Surabaya. But so if I were to be honest, Indonesia I can be, like have this north runny nose at night or even at days because we have dust and everything. So I can run out 2 pack of tissue paper in Indonesia in one day. Like I can buy and it's finished in one day. But here it doesn't. It's not really the case. The air is better or something. and also the diet is healthier. So yeah, I mean, Indonesia, we tend to have a lot of, small diseases like, oh, I got headache. Yeah, maybe it's your cholesterol. Because we eat a lot of fritters, basically. Everything that is fried is good, yeah. But here you get more balanced diet. So I also become healthier, so to say. So maybe it's the people of Indonesia is what I miss. Not the food or not the weather situation or the city situation. I also encounter my friend here. She's kind of love cities like Jakarta. The bigger the city is, the more she love it. But I'm not that kind of person. I like it when it's peaceful, and yeah, you just stay, walk alone in the forest because not so many people, as I told you. So even when you walk in the forest, maybe you just meet one or two or three. Yeah. So yeah, I kind of like the situation here, but maybe the people, of course, that can't be replaced. Once you know a person well, you will always miss him or her, basically. Yeah, so it's kind of the challenge for me.
Okay, so that's, I think I expected that answer because when you live away to your family and your friends, that you especially going to miss them. Okay, so next question is, how is the study situation there? Like you mentioned in the beginning, is it online now, or how, and how the pandemic case there?
All right, quite needs some extensive answer. Okay, I will start from the study situation. So most of the classes is online, but some master students, some bachelor students will do their thesis. And I as a PhD student mostly work with the research instead of the course. So it's like it can be the case. For example, this year my supervisor advises me not to take any courses because we have a really serious project going on with the research. So it's like you can take the courses later. That's why 5 years is perfect because you can arrange your time. So courses is not really that important in PhD study here. I don't know with other countries, but here it's like you take it, but it's for you to learn. I mean, we don't just take the courses like that doesn't give really any benefit to our research. But then what I understand, because I also know some master students, most of the classes is online, and if they can do the thesis online, it's also strongly recommended. But in some of the work, like for example, like for me, a person of science, we need to work in lab. So you still can come to the university, but then I mean it's not closed completely. But then they make some arrangement, like only come when it's necessary. So when if you can do your work from home, for example, in PhD study, we are expected to publish. There are times that I only need to write my manuscript, my paper manuscript, and I don't really need to do some experiment in the lab. Then I should do it at home. That's the recommendation. So most of them is still online. So it hasn't come back. But if you come to university, it's not completely closed. Of course, there are some people. And then maybe in general, maybe it's not about the study itself, but we have some tougher restrictions nowadays. Like for example, you can only gather in maximum 8 people, and it is recommended that you only meet people that you meet daily, or if you can, if you have family, just stay with your family. But for a single person like me, I don't have family, so they say, okay, you can meet one or two or three people that really knows you like your best friend, but please try not to make any new connection. But of course, we're human after all, we need to socialize. So there is still some tolerance to that, like, okay, you can do whatever you want, but maximum 8 people. I think the reason is that if someone got infected, it's easier to tell some people, hey, I'm positive, maybe you should quarantine yourself. But if you meet like 50 people, imagine every of them have to be quarantined, like over 300 people. Like it's not really good, you know. So for the contact tracing, I think it's better. And also in the restaurant, you can't sit with more than 4 people unless you're in the same household. So it's like, yeah, sometimes we have to be tricky with that. I don't want to say anything, but there are some restrictions in place. But the general recommendation is that when you are sick, please stay at home. And I mean, even at the mildest symptom, for example, just cough. And then, yeah, the etiquette, if you cough, do it here. Because, yeah, you wouldn't touch anyone with this pen, basically, right? And, yeah, avoid public transport as much as possible. If you can, please walk. And I think, yeah, Swedish people are really good at walking and running. So maybe that works well with them. What else? And then, yeah, if you can, please work from home or study from home as much as possible. Avoid contact. Basically, like, you can contact some person that you know, but please not so much, something like that. And then, yeah, wash your hand. We all know that. I mean, yeah, we experience the same thing, like dry hand, and you got some radish. Yeah, because sanitizer is not really good. But yeah, anyway, we have to do that. But maybe the most, I don't know if we have time, but maybe the most interesting thing is that with the mask and the lockdown, I mean, you can search on the internet maybe if we don't have time, but they only start recommending wearing face masks only last month in January, like almost after 1 month. No, almost after 1 year of the pandemic, right? So they start recommending that it's only in public transportation during rush hours. And they define rush hours is from 7 to 9 a.m. and then 4 to 6 p.m. And that's it. Outside of that, it's not really recommended. And Sweden has been the peculiar case in this term, especially in Europe or Western world, because other countries in Europe start, okay, we're doing lockdown. For example, the lockdown is that now the lockdown is more like, so in the spring, I mean, April, May 2020, it's really expected that you don't come out unless you do grocery and come back, or you go to doctor and come back. But right now it's like lighter lockdown in many countries, apart from Sweden. For example, you can only come out, you're not allowed to come out of your home after 6 p.m. or something until morning. Because, you know, that's where people do partying and then get drunk and all the infection spreads, basically. But then it's lighter lockdown. But Sweden, yeah, they have some restriction in place, but they don't really do any lockdown. And this really recommended mask really late. Because, you know, earlier the WHO said that mask is only for the sick, not for the health, if you remember that. So Sweden sticks to that, like for almost a year. That's really amazing. And I know, I mean, the situation is not really good in terms of number. A lot of people died. I don't want to say the number. I'm not the press, basically. But in the case went really high, even though it's going down right now. So it was high before summer 2020, and then it went down during summer. I think that makes sense because in summer you just went out, and the environment, so the air is, I mean, you don't do really many indoor activities. So it helps with the good ventilation, if you know. But then starts winter, people start gathering inside. Even though I say they still do outdoor activities, but of course they have more indoor activities because, yeah, we're still human. So the infection gets increased again in all over Europe. But then, yeah, it's interesting because, like, right now, even if I come to work, I don't wear a mask because it's not recommended. But when I supervise the bachelor students, the university itself recommend wearing mask because the bachelor student is kind of new to the lab. So they think it's not your daily contact, so you should be precaution. But it's like the rules that the university set by itself, but the country doesn't say that. The government doesn't say that. So one thing that I want to point out why it's like crazy, or maybe is Sweden behind some anti-face mask conspiration or something, No, not really. I mean, I think people here, the good thing about them is that they trust each other. So the government trusts their people to do what is necessary, and they don't want to make like a strict rules with fines or something. So there is no fine. This is recommendation. I mean, this new recommendation of face mask is even only recommendation. There is no fine. If you don't wear it during this time, then nobody will punish you, basically. But then they say, please keep distance. Please care for each other. They say it a lot. Like, I don't want to fine you. That's what they said earlier. I don't want to put more restrictions, but please be considerate. But I think what I saw is that young people got, yeah, young people are young people. So they got careless during the winter because they need some party, maybe. Yeah, we all know it's different lifestyle in Indonesia sometimes. And then that's why the government put more restrictions, because they think people start to not obeying the recommendation that they do heartily. So it's like, I give you nice recommendation, please follow it. So at first they follow it because the Swedish people usually believe their government. But then, yeah, it's been long. So people have psychological effect. They got tired of the pandemic. So I think it's got tougher, but still Sweden believe they don't have to do lockdown. And the vaccination is already starting, like 4,000, 100,000 of people already got vaccinated twice. So it's really good sign, basically. The vaccine is rolling out. And if you heard, even one of the vaccine producers, AstraZeneca, is also located in a city near Gothenburg, basically. So we produce the vaccine inside of our country itself. So yeah, we'll see. I mean, but the thing to point out is that they trust their people and the people trust their government in normal times. So when the government say, it's not about the mask. Mask can give you a wrong security sense of security. So it's like some people who is sick can still get out when they wear masks. So they say, it's not about mask. When you're sick, please stay at home, let alone, moreover, if you're positive. So it's like they expect people to be careful to each other by stay at home and avoid contact instead of wearing masks. But yeah, I still think a mask is necessary right now because yes, the situation is different. So we'll see about that.
I'm going to tell you the last question. Is there anything you wish you knew back when you were a college student?
Yeah, that's a good question. That may be quite hard to answer, but maybe I can say that, yeah, maybe that one thing that I already mentioned, when you do your study, do it for yourself. Like, be good, be kind to yourself. I mean, I know Indonesia, the system can be quite different. But just, I mean, at least in your heart, don't try to just finish your study, complete your study, graduate, and then you'll do anything to please your lecturer or the university. I mean, what I learned here is that you can say no. No is okay as long as you know you don't violate any rules or you don't just, cause disadvantage to any people. Like, in Japanese culture, we are always taught respect the seniors. Yeah, it's correct. It's correct. But saying no is also a respect, I think. If you can't do that, don't just say, yes, I can try, and then you don't know anything. Say, I can't. I need some help. Or even if you want to say, I don't want to do it, that's okay. I mean, not in terms that, for example, if you get assignment and no, I don't want to do it. No, of course not. But then, don't try to just please the lecturer, for example, I'll just do my assignment carelessly and cut point. No, do it for yourself. If you do assignment, if you do, I don't know, maybe lab work when you're on your thesis or something, or we call it practicum in Indonesia. Yeah, we have that, right? Do it for yourself. What do you want to learn? Ask yourself. It's not just like, experiment session from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. Okay, I should survive this. I mean, I was like that. So it's like, I don't want to learn anything. I just want to get the day done and eat something nice in the dinner. It's like, I hate experiment because, we have to wear this lab coat in Indonesia. It's really hot and still we have to wear lab coat. Like, seriously? Yeah, but I wish I knew that everything is for myself. So I should learn something. If I can't learn something, then find another way to learn. Don't just stuck there. Don't just be stuck there, basically. So that's one thing that I wish I knew. If I study, if I do research, if I take course, it's for myself. It's being kind to myself. Don't just fulfill other people's expectation. Even, I mean, your parents have expectation, yes. Your lecturer have expectation, yes. But mostly it should be for you. So find a way why taking course is means doing good to yourself. Otherwise, think again. Don't just do it like, yeah, I'll just do it. I don't want to think. Think again. It's for you and yourself. Yeah.
I totally agree with your with your
Yeah.
sentence. Just because, yeah, usually people are trying to please their lecturer or their friend or
Exactly.
something.
Asal
Yeah,
bapak senang ya.
yeah, that's
Yes, that's not
true.
really correct.
Yeah, because it's your study and it's to achieve your trip, so it's for yourself, right? Yes, that's
Yeah.
really nice. I learned so much for today. Okay, so
Okay, that's good.
that will end our conversation. But before I close this, I want you to give some message, just a little bit message for other OIA buddies that might listening now.
Okay, that's nice. So yeah, I don't know if they know, but I was for a short time the one who was in charge for OIA in UISI, basically. So it was really nice to work with the buddies. Maybe not the buddies now, but back then it's been some years. So what I think is that now that you become a person who is interested in international study or career, of course, if not, why you are here, right? I mean, don't, yeah, as I told you, for example, don't try to please someone else. I mean, it's mostly for you. Of course, you can please someone else, of course, but not that's not the major interest. But then now, for example, there would be challenges or obstacle when you learn to be international. I mean, we're still defining what international means for ourselves. That's really, really personal. I mean, some people define international as have more broad range of friends, not only from our country. But I think even here, I still go with Indonesian people and I feel international because we experience a lot of culture that is not in Indonesia. So it depends. But the point is, it's not for the other people, but for yourself. How will you will define international is that you can step on the next level without restricting yourself, without being, like for example, the easiest thing is that when you learn English, then some people say, your accent is bad, but maybe you're from Surabaya, what can you do? And then that's funny. When will you go to abroad or something? No, don't let anyone extinguish your dream. That's not correct. It's your dream, and yeah, you already heard this quote that if you're not nervous or if you don't have you are not afraid, you don't dream big enough. Yeah, that's true. But then I don't say that you should dream to be someone that you are not. If you know I can do this, then do this. Don't listen to anyone that's trying to say that you can't do that. So, example, if you want to say English and then someone say it's bad, yeah, that's why you should practice more. It shouldn't stop you, for example. And then if you want to say, oh, I want to work outside of Indonesia, that's nice. Try to research as best as you can. Listen to people who build your personality and your confidence. But then also, some people will always go in your way, like step in your way and say, you're not cut out for that. You won't be able to do that. Don't listen to them. You can achieve your dream once. I mean, you are the one who can choose to achieve your dream and fulfill it.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay,
Yeah,
buddies, please write that down because that's important for us.
yeah.
Okay, I think that will end our conversation. Thank you so much, Victor,
Thank you.
for being
Yeah,
our guest on TOLKIA, and thank you all the people who are still listening to us until now. And if you like our podcast, please click like and subscribe button and comment down below what topic we should discuss in the next TOLKIA. Don't forget to follow our Instagram account on oia.uisi and our other social media in description box below. And see you in the next TOLKIA. Stay safe and bye-bye.